Welcome to another edition of DFS Picks through Monkey Knife Fight here on Fantasy Focus. I'm Derek Tate, and I'm flying solo for this episode as the Green Bay Packers take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the old Battle of the Bays, former NFC Central match, but we've got Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady, Davante Adams versus a good group of pass catchers there in Tampa Bay. Let's go ahead and break this down. But if you have not yet done so, of course, it's your first time coming across the Fantasy Focus YouTube channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button as well as that little bell so you don't miss any notifications when we have any brand new fantasy football content or go live here on the Fantasy Focus channel. Also, if you have not yet done so, or if you've never heard of Monkey Knife Fight, it is a great prop bet channel, or be able to kind of have a change of pace from that of DraftKings or FanDuel or anything like that. Personally, I like trying to bet more so on statistical over-unders, more or less, is whatever you want to call it. So this is Monkey Knife Fight is a great prop bet tool. So if you have not yet done so, if you want to create an account through Monkey Knife Fight, the best way to do so is to use the promo code FOCUS when you make your first deposit. Monkey Knife Fight will automatically match up to $50 on your first deposit when using that promo code FOCUS. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. One of my favorite contests to play on monkeyknifefight.com. I mean, there's a ton. There's Touchdown Dance, there's Rapid Fire, there's More or Less, Reception Collection, all kinds of different ones. But one of my personal favorites, and the one that I've had the most individual success with starting off for the 2020 season, is Rapid Fire, where you got to pick 3 for 3 correctly 6 times your buy-in. So I've hit on, I think, like 4 out of 6 of these. I've had a lot of success recently. So we've got passing yardage. You have that matchup. Tom Brady, it's kind of like a handicap for a golfer or something of that nature. Brady is getting 10.5 passing yards, automatic bonus to start the game off in his heads-up matchup versus Aaron Rodgers. So when you're taking a look at these two matchups, the Packers are getting back Davante Adams, but on the flip side, Tom Brady is getting back Chris Godwin. So kind of 2 elite wide receivers that both veteran pass throwers and quarterbacks, of course, are getting back as well. So go ahead and take that into account when trying to make this decision. But personally, when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Brady has been he's been developing chemistry and developing that rhythm in this new offense, kind of integrating himself into this system with Bruce Arians and the vertical passing threats that you have with Mike Evans. And of course, Scotty Miller has also been cleared for this upcoming week. So when it comes to just straight passing yardage, I'm enticed to take Tom Brady when he's getting 10.5 passing yards. The only issue is that on the flip side of things, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers run defense in particular is very stout, which means I expect that Matt LaFleur is going to dial up a ton of play action type of looks. Aaron Rodgers could sit back even if he knows that he's in a passing down situation, just spread it out, empty, 5 wide, whatever, just 5 pass catchers on the field at the same time. Rodgers can dole it out to anybody, and he's yet to throw an interception this season. So, I mean, he is just no turnovers. Rodgers is playing at a crazy high level right now with a point to prove after the Packers, group of dumbasses there in Green Bay decided to go ahead and, move up to trade up to draft Jordan Love. Like, yeah, that's smart. Real good job. But Rodgers is playing at an elite level, MVP type level. So I expect that Rodgers, who just saw Nick Foles do some things against this Tampa Bay secondary, if Carlton Davis couldn't handle Allen Robinson one-on-one, then he's going to have quite a few issues against Davante Adams, who is also looking like he is going to play this upcoming week. I know the other options outside of Adams are, not super explosive, certainly not the allotment that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have, but I just feel like the strength of the Buccaneers is up front against the run. Rodgers, who has been playing at a very high level and has thrown for at least 240 yards every single game of this season. I, in particular, are going to go ahead and go with Aaron Rodgers as far as the over-under more or less individual matchup, even though Brady is getting 10.5 passing yards. Moving on to receptions. goes to Davante Adams and Chris Godwin. And when you look at this individual matchup between Adams, the one full game he played this year, 14 receptions for 156 yards. So, I mean, Chris Godwin hasn't even sniffed that. I mean, even against New Orleans when he was healthy, 6 catches for 79 yards. And then he played against Denver, 5 for 64 and 1 touchdown. But it's really the allotment of options for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is what gives me the nod here, in particular, that Chris Godwin is only getting basically 2 receptions in this heads-up matchup versus Davante Adams. It's already been clear that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have Mike Evans available. They're going to have Scotty Miller available. We even saw some good things from Tyler Johnson last week. Gronk is hopefully going to continue to get up to football speed. Cameron Braid is also a reliable pass-catching option at the tight end position. Rojo, we'll see if we got Fournette, Keyshawn Vaughn, LaShawn McCoy, whatever. I mean, there's just so many different options for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Although I expect Chris Godwin to lead the Buccaneers in receptions this week, Davante Adams is Davante Adams. I expect him to catch at least 7 passes this week. That is a high number for Godwin to hit with all those other pass catchers there in town. So give me Davante Adams despite the disadvantage or the handicap that Chris Godwin is getting with 1.5 receptions. Now it brings me to the most interesting pick of this entire rapid fire, which is Aaron Jones versus Ronald Jones, particularly for rushing yardage. Jones, and we're talking of the Green Bay variety, has ran for more than 71 yards once the entire season. When you're looking at Ronald Jones, and I understand that the Leonard Fournette factor is coming into play here, so we really need to keep an eye on whether Leonard Fournette is going to be active this week, because he was active last week, but he was only supposed to be, quote, used on an emergency basis and didn't see a snap. My apologies. He did see a snap, but it was in a kneel-down situation. Ronald Jones has run for over 100 yards in each of the last 2 weeks. And last week it was against the Chicago Bears. Jones looked like the best back out of this entire backfield unit, tandem, committee, whatever you want to call it there in Tampa Bay. So for me in particular, I'm actually going to go with Rojo because it's pretty much a coin flip, 1.5 rushing yard. But the Packers have their own version of a committee with Jamal Williams. Really, he's the only other one significantly involved. And when we see A.J. Dillon with like less than 5 touches on a weekly basis. But I'm going with Rojo. I'm going to ride the hot hand. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though I expect Rodgers and the Packers to try to exploit the Bucs through the air rather than trying to attack the strength of the defense, which is their rushing, their ability to be able to defend against the rush up front. Yeah, I think that the Bucs, though, on the other hand, on the flip side of the coin, ride the hot hand with Rojo. So back-to-back 100-yard games. I'm going to go ahead and say that Rojo wins that coin flip in the rushing yardage total battle between him and Aaron Jones. So I'm going to put a 5 spot on this. Again, you get 6 times your buy-in if you hit on this. Again, a beautiful, easy segue into being able to say, if this is your first time coming across Monkey Knife Fight, the prop bet games that they have on this website, this tool, it's fantastic. I personally have done very well with it. So I would suggest going ahead and jumping in and trying your hand at some Monkey Knife Fight prop bets on a weekly basis here through our NFL picks on a weekly basis here at the Fantasy Focused channel. So while we're doing that, we do 2 contests. Generally, it's the rapid fire and the other one, which we've come so close to breaking through on a ton of occasions, but it's the 6 for 6, more or less 35 times your buy-in when you play this contest. I've had 5 or 6 hit. Unfortunately, you don't get paid for 5 or 6. You got to go 6 for 6, but 5 or 6 on, I think it's 6 different occasions at this point. So we got Aaron Rodgers at 305.5 passing yardage. This one is in particular tricky because Aaron Rodgers, if there's a way to attack this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, I believe it's through the secondary. The only thing is that if the Packers jump out to a lead or something of that nature, are they going to try to run the football, so on and so forth? But, the 1 week that Aaron Rodgers had a healthy Davante Adams and what ended up turning out a high-scoring game between them and the Minnesota Vikings, Rodgers threw for 364. He torched Atlanta for 327 last week, yardage total-wise through the air, and that was without Davante Adams. So you give me back Davante Adams and what could be a high-scoring game, and certainly a Buccaneers offense that's capable of putting up points to keep up with Aaron Rodgers and company. I will go ahead and actually go with more, even though it's not something that I generally like to do because that is a very high total as far as the more or less. But I do feel like Brady is going to be able to put up some points. And speaking of Brady being able to put up points, 295.5 passing yards is the more or less that has been set with Tom Brady. I'm going to go less on this. And it has nothing to do. I actually feel good about the fact that Brady is getting back Chris Godwin. He's outside of O.J. Howard. He's pretty much going to have that allotted full slate of pass catchers available at his disposal in this game. But it is about a coin flip, 50-50, because he's gone for over that 295.5 mark on 2 out of the 3 games. But I just I feel as if, Mike Evans is going to be limited a little bit against Jair Alexander, who is one of the better young corners in the National Football League. Yes, Godwin is going to eat. I expect Scotty Miller to have a nice game. But what have we really seen from Gronk? Rojo, inconsistent hands at best. Is Leonard Fournette involved? I don't feel as if Brady is going to be able to just torch this defense on the back end. For that reason, go ahead and give me the less on Sir Thomas Brady. And I already mentioned earlier that we saw Allen Robinson absolutely abuse Carlton Davis. And if Allen Robinson can do it, a healthy Davante Adams can damn well do it against Carlton Davis and the rest of the secondary, no matter who they try to throw at him, whether it's Sean Murphy Bunting or Jamel Dean, like Davante Adams is going to eat. So give me the more on 6.5 receptions for Davante Adams. This is the one that bothers me the most because every week Aaron Jones is right around 68.5 rushing yards. And, he's gone 66, 69, 71, and then, of course, 168 against the Detroit Lions. So every week he's right around there. I'm going to go less because this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, the strength of them is up front against the run. And for that reason alone, I just don't see Aaron Jones having a huge rushing day. And if he has been hitting right around that mark, that's what he's been averaging outside of the one outlier against the Detroit Lions where he popped a big rushing touchdown. I'm just going to say that he hits less. I think that he probably goes for somewhere around 40 to 50 yards rushing. So I'll go with less on Aaron Jones. Chris Godwin, this one's tricky because, I expect Godwin to have a nice 5-catch game. But 70.5 yards for someone that is capable of – do we really need Godwin to go vertical? In particular when his first game back. It's a little tricky. But I will say that if I see a Buccaneers wide receiver having a big day, I think it's Godwin more so than I think it's Mike Evans. Because, again, I think Mike Evans isn't even 100% right now either. And he's going up against Jair Alexander. I think he is the one that's going to get that treatment. They're going to try to force Brady to go in other directions outside of Evans, who's scored a touchdown every single week of this NFL season. So for that reason, I'm going over on Chris Godwin, but less on Mike Evans. So that will actually do it for this slate of picks through Monkey Knife Fight here on Fantasy Focus. And of course, it says the game is no longer available. So this does happen on occasion. So let me go ahead and see exactly what they did. They may have adjusted the contest because I'm making my picks. I'm rolling with you guys right here. And let me know if you guys need that promo code. By the way, the link is in the description. You don't actually have to type. You can even go through the effort of typing in monkeyknifefight.com in your URL. Just go ahead and click the link in the description. Again, like this, it just said 65.5 receiving yards. I'm already going less. I'm going more. I'm going more, less. No, yeah, less and then more for Aaron Rodgers. Please don't tell me this thing is inactive again because I think that's going to be a crock of horseshit. Yep, there we go. I'm in officially in. And speaking of official, go ahead and officially hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the rest of the fantasy football content here on Fantasy Focus for the rest of the 2020 NFL season. Again, use that promo code when creating an account and making your first deposit on monkeyknifefight.com. When you use that promo code FOCUSED, Monkey Knife Fight will actually match your first deposit up to $50 into your account automatically. And by the way, we've got some people joining live. I'm flattered. I didn't know how many people we actually have join live, but we actually have some people sounding off in the comments. Victor Jace, solo dolo kid. Yep, exactly. Solo is not my game, not my particular thing. I'm normally rolling with either Bucs, Sam, or Ryan Levy, but here I am. I'm going solo because we got to get these Buccaneers picks in. You need to make a Twitch channel and play the listeners on Madden 21. Yo, I'll go ahead and sound off right here. D-Tater4 is my gamer tag on Xbox One. I don't know if any of you guys have Xbox or if you all are the PlayStation variety, but I'm down to get a game in. Like, I'm just, right now it's snowing in Cadillac, Michigan. So I'm going to be sitting my ass inside, probably drinking a lot of beers and playing some Madden and, probably getting pissed off because, by the way, like, I don't know if y'all play Madden 2021. Victor, I'm assuming you do because you already kind of mentioned it. Has this game even evolved whatsoever? Madden at all over the last 5 years? It's like, look, I feel as if I'm sounding off on Madden right now. Like, Madden is the biggest copy and paste job I've ever seen and I don't even play video games all that much, but literally they take the same exact setup and they basically just update the rosters, but they charge you for Madden Ultimate Team because, by the way, if you try to play in like a weekend league and you don't have a squad that's like maxed out, you're gonna get worked. Like, I feel like I understand how to play Madden. Whatever, dude. Like, but it's a crock of shit because it's just based on microtransactions to be competitive if you're trying to play Madden Ultimate Team. And I love Madden. I love football simulation, but damn, EA Sports is just lazy. Like, I'm shots fired at EA Sports. Like, it's a crock of shit. It's a terrible product. They still have all kinds of issues with players basically phasing through each other and all kinds of stupid shit. Player like certain plays that are buggy as all hell, and like AI defensively doesn't, like, if you're trying to run a zone defense, don't be surprised if your like zone players don't actually recognize when a player is running hot through their zone. Like, there's so many AI issues that it drives me nuts. Like, I understand you got to learn the mechanics and stuff of that. And I'm not saying that I'm like a professional gamer by any stretch, but if you're looking for an actual football simulation, they could do a hell of a lot better. And I expect better, but I've also come to expect fucking mediocrity. Excuse my language, but I've also come to expect that Madden is just going to put out whatever product makes a profit, and they don't really give a shit about trying to improve the gameplay because they've got a monopoly on the NFL simulation license. So if you have no competition to push you, then why bother and put resources into it? Just drive the price up on microtransactions. People are still going to play it because it's the only option they have, which is a sad reality. But yeah, D-Tater4, if you guys want to get a game of Madden in, go ahead and hit me up on Xbox One. I'll definitely play you in a game of Madden because I just love playing football. And by the way, if you have not yet done so, or if it's the first time coming across your channel, hit the subscribe button. By the way, we're also taking all start-sit questions heading into every week of NFL action on Sunday mornings. We go live at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 a.m. Pacific. I mean, somehow we get Ryan Levy and Sam Holt, who is awesome, at 7 a.m. every single week. They jump in to answer everybody's questions, and we love you guys. We love the interaction. In fact, we couldn't be thankful for it. That's why we do this. So thank you for joining yet again. Charlie Hicks, I second Victor's idea. Yo, I haven't seen anybody sound off in the comments yet with your gamer tags. So do you want me to challenge you? Do you want to come and get this with a tater? Like, you could get inside the head, the mind of your boy right here. I'm not that good at Madden. I'm just, messing around. But yeah, anyway, love you guys. Until next time, good luck. Play some monkeyknifefight.com and later.